Hello again, small car and small airport tractor collectors. I show this because, the majority of my channel is reviewing 1/64 scale cars. But before I collected these, this is one of my very first purchases actually, because I'd never seen a 1/64 scale model of a car look that detailed. But before that, I was collecting 1/200 and 1/400 scale airplanes, and I left that hobby like 2 years ago, and I started this stuff, right? But I saw this thing in a store, and we're gonna see, if this, how much this, if this is as good as one of these. I actually think this is probably gonna be better, just because it's smaller. It's 1/200 instead of 1/64, right? So that Lamborghini is made by LD Works, by the way, if you're not familiar with that brand. This tractor, the WT500E, is made by JC Wings, or JCW, although it says nothing on the box about the company. So I'm going to assume this is an unlicensed piece of collectible. So the WT500E is made by Komatsu, which is a Japanese tractor company. They make all sorts of construction equipment and things like that. The 500 means it's supposed to be able to, haul around 50,000 kilograms, or around 50 tons of weight. They're not speed demons. They only have 4-speed transmissions and go around 20 miles per hour or 30 kilometers an hour. Sorry, I don't know what the deal is with this. And it's got an 11-liter 6-cylinder engine making around 300 horsepower. So it's all about torque. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a torque rating for these things. Okay, so I did a review of the WT250 not too long ago. This is the big brother of it. And so it has the same case, it looks like, and it's screwed in the bottom by one, but it looks like it's shifted in shipping, so not the best, preventative case here. This one was much looser than the first one I got. There's some accessories here, which we'll get to later. And what's nice is there's like a tampo printed, graphic of where this tractor would line up with certain airframes. Boeing 747 or an Airbus A320, where it should line up with the landing gear. We'll take this off, but I'm probably going to put this back in the case. And actually, this is so small, I'm going to actually make a diorama out of this case later. I have a bunch of other GSE and people and stuff like that, so... Alright, so this thing is so minuscule. It is die-cast metal. It's actually quite heavy for its size. And I learned from the last time I need to have smaller photographs to compare it to, because it is so small. That looks pretty good. So I pulled up this one to give a reference to the size, to common commercial airline planes. Commercial jets are huge. I mean, look at that person, right? So that jet is like 5 stories tall, the roof of that thing. Yeah, maybe 4 stories. Anyways. Oh, this is the rear view. So it's got this like box on the back. Yeah, it's really hard to focus between two objects though. Okay. Get this stuff out of the way. And I have to carefully hold this thing, because look at all the little mirrors hanging off of this thing. If I drop it, they're gonna bend. This is crazy, but these things do roll. This one actually, both axles roll. The first one I had, only with the rear axle rolled. So it's weird. I think it's weird that models roll, because it's actually unrealistic. Because tires have flat spots. That's why they have motors. But anyways, this one does roll, and I think the tire and the wheel are the exact same casting. It's just they print on the gray in the middle, and this is pretty decent printing. Maybe it's a little off here, but it's not much. So Cathay Pacific is an airline, of course. And then this is just a flat-sided, casting, but they printed on all the panel lines and rivet marks and stuff. This actually, no, I am wrong. This is actually a depression. I can feel a lip right there. But it's very faint. It doesn't go in very far, as you can see with the pick there. Okay, the canopy here, you can actually see there's a driver inside of it, which is really impressive. But looking at the photographs, this is supposed to be white, the same white as this. But because that white paint is not very thick, it looks kind of gray because it's on a clear piece of plastic. You know, this white and that white aren't the same because this is on metal, that's on clear plastic. But, you know, the graphics are nice. There's a little silver door handle printed on, all the window molding and all that stuff is printed nicely. So going to the front, looks like we have a couple steps there molded into the casting. And then the tow bar thing is actually rubbery. Sorry, this is so small it's hard to focus and actually not hit my camera as well. But yeah, you see it flexes, so that's interesting that they did that. It's got these tiny protruding things. I think they must be metal. They feel quite rigid. And then this has to be a bent piece of metal as well. Look at this detail. Whatever that is, I have no clue. Maybe it's a mirror or a license. I wouldn't have a license plate. I'm not sure what the deal is with that thing. Okay, and then all these black graphics are like step grip pads. You know, like skateboard grip tape, I think. So they can walk around on the thing and not crack their head open. There actually is silver paint on these mirrors. So the stalks of the mirrors are very impressively thin. Look how thin they are, right? And then headlight printed details, silver, black surround, orange, black surround. So really nicely printed headlights. Okay, wiper blades printed on as well. And then you can see the dude. I think the dude's got a safety helmet on. So that's neat. Alright. Different graphics on this side. Different axis hatches, some sort of grating there. And then the rear, yep. Nicely printed taillights and then a bunch of axis hatches. Komatsu, the parent company, the tractor company. Although the T is messed up. That's not Komatsu, that's Komatsu. Weird. It's not even on the front. That's weird, it's only on the back. And then the WT500E. So I think this is an electric vehicle, if I had to guess. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The internet said 11 liter 6-cylinder, but I don't know. Maybe it's an old catalog I found. It was really hard to find information on these tractors. It always led to the Komatsu Airport instead of Komatsu Airport Equipment. Alright, orange light up here. And then, yeah, rear wiper blades as well. Oh, that guy's got like a vest on as well. Unfortunately, the canopy's so blurry, but look at that. I think there is some detail molded on there. Yeah, there is a steering wheel. Very plain, of course, but well, anyways, it's okay. I mean, the guy's hand is painted as well, flesh tone, so not many models in 164 have figures. I do believe there's some coming out, though. The initial D series, I think, from either Hobby Japan or Time Micro, I forget. But I think they actually have drivers in them. But, I mean, this is a different scale, of course. Much harder to do. Okay. The bottom, it's just plain, you know, cast metal, screwed base. No, well, I think that actually is accurate for the treads of these things. I don't think they have cross treads. These things weigh a lot. I don't think they need it. And they only go at 20 miles per hour, and probably less than that with an airplane on it. Alright, well, pretty neat. This looks like the same bag as that last review. There's a cast metal tow bar. And I found that the tow bar in my last one, the whole area was a little bit too big, so I had to file the edges down, and that's how I found out it was made of metal instead of plastic. And then it's got two cones, two tow bar pins, and then a photo-etched piece of metal ladder. So it's basically the same accessory set as the very last one. So I'm going to use some sticky tack to put these three things on it, and then I'm going to get one of these hooks onto this guy as well. Give me a moment, I'll come back. Alright, now you decided to just put it back on the base already. I ended up using poster board putty to put the ladder on the thing, but I used it on the cones on the actual base of the display case. And this time around I put the tow bar in the front of the vehicle. And I have some other tractors up here, all 1/200 scale. This is also JC Wings. This is from like 2 years ago or something. You can still buy these today. They come in a set. But this is all plastic. But I think it's still pretty good for the price. This little trio is a set that was put out by TSM Model. That's the same parent company as Mini GT. It was part of a Top Gun series. I think that's going to be harder to find. Those are for aircraft carrier decks like Top Gun. And then these are available from Gulliver 200. You can hop on eBay and find those. They come in sets. This is like a 10,000 liter or 10,000 gallon, I forget which one, fuel truck. So, you know, this is a semi-truck, right? And this tractor is much wider, much taller. So it really gives you a sense of, you know, how big that thing is. And then really a sense of how big commercial airlines should be, airplanes are, just based on this photograph back here, right? That's a small commercial airplane, only 2 engines. But that tractor's huge. Alright, so let me make some room and I'll bring out that other WT250E I reviewed before from the same brand. These things are so small. Okay, so this one, you'll see I have this one reversed. I have this one backing into the base, or I guess I'll just make this forward as well, but the tow bar's in the back. So this is a WT250, and that's a 500, so you can see the size difference there. Considering this is capable of moving around twice as much mass, it's actually not that much bigger, which is weird, right? Although you would think it'd be bigger, but it only looks like maybe 10 or 20% bigger than the 250. And then for, you know, you guys that may have an interest in airplane vehicles, but primarily collect cars. So that's the difference between 1/200 and 1/64. But bearing in mind, this is a huge vehicle in real life, so I guess really comparable to a Lambo might be more like this. You know, just based on the person driving the thing. So anyways, it's just, you know, the amount of detail you get in a real hobby grade, it's pretty impressive. You know, I consider 1/200 a hobby grade. 187 also a hobby grade because that's model railroading. Whereas sadly 1/64 is derived from Hot Wheels, which are toys. Now naturally, things are getting a lot better. I mean, this LB Works Lambo is fantastic. That's why I started collecting these things in the first place, these 64 scale cars. And I still like Hot Wheels, don't get me wrong, I have over 100 of them. For the money, you just can't complain. They're quite awesome for the money, but if you're really into high detailed stuff, you definitely gotta spend the money. You know, this thing was it's definitely much more expensive than the tractor I showed you. Alright then, well, this video isn't about that. I just try to, you know, introduce you guys to other hobbies. Not everything has to be a Hot Wheels, right? Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this. There is one more of these tractors from JC Wings that I was able to track down. It's not one of these WTs. It's called a Heiko or something like that. So I'll get that review whenever it comes in. I appreciate you checking this out, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.